Good morning. We're back here on Falcons Daily. It's a Wednesday. It's November the 5th, 2025. This is episode 156 of Falcons Daily. I am your host, CG, Craig Green. And if you want to give me a follow on social media, I'm at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G in the word sports. FanArch, you can find them at FanArch Co. Their logo's in the top left corner. They power this platform. They are at FANARCHCO. Let's jump right into it, y'all. The Falcons did pretty much absolutely nothing at the trade deadline yesterday. We talked about some scenarios that they could possibly undertake to improve the roster, bolster up some spots of weakness, add some depth or some draft picks even, and they decided to kind of stand pat and stay put exactly where they are. In terms of moves, I mean, they did make a couple of moves. They did add an offensive lineman back to their team that we haven't had in a couple of years. We did bring back offensive lineman Andrew Stuber to the team, and he's going to be added to the 53-man roster. So that honestly could be a telltale factor about injuries when it comes to the O-line, or unless we're going to change some things up with the rotation. But again, remember, Matthew Bergeron and also Chris Lindstrom left the game on Sunday and did not return to the ball game. He played right guard. He played right tackle for the Falcons. He was with us in the preseason last year. He played a good amount in the first. He played a good amount in the preseason for the Falcons. Ended up turning that into a stint with the Cincinnati Bengals. He played last year for them on their 50. He was on our practice squad. Then the Bengals took him and put him on the 53-man roster, and played on offense and special teams. So Falcons looking to bolster both sides of that football there with a move bringing Stuber back in. And so we'll see how that pans out. But again, today's Wednesday. We'll keep our eyes on the injury report, see if anything shakes of that. But the other thing the Falcons did very notably at the trade deadline was make a switch at kicker. So with the move, with Andrew Stuber coming in, they also said goodbye to Parker Romo and brought in a brand new kicker. Zane Gonzalez is now going to be the Falcons' place kicker. He has won the competition in practice and in the tryouts. So now Parker Romo finds himself released about maybe 2 months after he was brought into the Falcons and thought to be the guy and the savior and a breath of fresh air after Young Wei-Koo missed a game-time kick against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But again, this is just more of that kicking carousel. I think it's not great for chemistry. It's not great for the confidence of the kicker to know, hey, if you miss a kick, the Falcons are going to cut you. It's a little bit too strict, and I understand the frustration of missing the kick against the Buccaneers, which cost us a chance to go to overtime. I understand missing the kick against the Patriots, pretty much costing us the game as well, a chance to go to overtime. But there's got to be some level of consistency here, and the consistency can't be as soon as you F up, we're going to get rid of you. Not sure how this is going to work out for the Falcons. Hopefully it works out in the better, but really, you take the kicker out of the element if you score touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? You take the kicker out of the element if you don't false start, if you don't get caught holding, if you make your blocks on the outside on screen passes. Like, we didn't see a lot of that happening against the Patriots. Screen passes blown up in the backfield because of poor blocking, poor technique, whatever it might be. None of that has to do with the ability of the kicker to make the ball through the uprights. So, we'll see how it goes for Zane Gonzalez. Welcome to Atlanta, sir. His best season in the NFL came a couple of years ago when he was suiting up about 3 years ago when he suited up for the Panthers. When he played for the Panthers in 2021, he was 20 of 22 on field goals with a long of 57. That's his career long, by the way. He was 22 of 23 on extra points. That was his his numbers there. His worst season in the NFL, if you're probably kind of wondering, really he had an erratic start to his career. When he first came in with the Cleveland Browns, he was a draft pick of Cleveland. He was 15 of 20. The year after that, he found himself on a couple of different teams. He was playing, he went 9 of 14, ended up only playing at 7 ball games that year. After that, 2018 only found himself in 2018, excuse me, he found himself playing in 7 games. That's it. 2019 with the Cardinals. Well, he was with the Cardinals from 2018 through 2020. And started coming on for them a little bit. Had pretty good seasons in 2019 and 2020. 2020, he missed 6 kicks. That led to him ending up with Carolina. And then last season, he suited up for the Washington Commanders for 12 games. For the Commanders, he was 5 of 7 with a long of 48. And on his extra points, he was perfect. So he's going to win the competition. He's going to be the new kicker for the Falcons. Hopefully it goes well for him. He's 30 years old. He's originally from Deer Park, Texas. Graduated out of picked out of Arizona State, 7th round pick, 224th overall in the 2017 NFL draft. So a veteran kicker, a guy who knows what it takes on game days. A guy who knows what it needs, he knows what he's got to do, and hopefully he does it because, again, if not, he'll find himself on the street just like Young Wei Koo, just like Zane Gonzalez, just like other kickers as well. So we'll see how it all shakes out for him. But again, the Falcons not doing very much at the trade deadline. Again, they feel very confident about what they're doing here in the building. They talk about execution and things like that, and they're not needing to make a whole bunch of changes to make things happen for them. So we'll see how it all goes for the Falcons. But one thing we want to look at before we move on is the upcoming schedule for the Falcons. Again, remember, they did just lose to the Patriots. We are on a 3-game losing streak. Doesn't feel very good, but it is what it is. So we are still sitting in 3rd place behind the Panthers, who are now sitting with a winning record in the NFC South. Everybody's still chasing the Bucks. Obviously, this Sunday morning, we'll be taking on the Colts in Berlin, 9:30 a.m. kickoff. The schedule right now doesn't look like it's very favorable to the Falcons. You got the Colts, the Panthers, the Seahawks, but you got a couple of games in the middle there against the Saints and Jets. And, the Colts have a whole new dynamic now with the trade of Sauce Gardner coming to Indianapolis. The Falcons are going to have to face them one way or the other, whether it's with the Jets or whether it's now with Indianapolis. It's just going to happen 3 weeks sooner now. So would you rather face them now, get it out of the way? Would you have to worry about facing them in the elements outside at MetLife Stadium, possibly in bad weather conditions? So honestly, I'd probably take this, kind of get it out of the way. He doesn't really have any chemistry with his new teammates yet. So, that could bode well for the Falcons. We'll see. I mean, the Colts are coming off of a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers where they turned the ball over 6 times. So hopefully the Falcons can take advantage of that. Again, Panthers a week after that at home. They are surging right now. The Saints are terrible. Jets are terrible. Hopefully the Falcons can get those wins. And the Seahawks, another daunting task, but at least we have that daunting task sitting at our house at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Terry Fontenot, is he on the hot seat? We got a question about that in our YouTube chat from yesterday's program, wondering about Terry Fontenot, and we're going to give the shout out for that question about Terry Fontenot. That's going to go to our friend McCoy Jamie 30. Do you think Terry should be fired? No, but I do think he's on the hot seat. I think that, we're 5 years in, and right now, we would like to have a winning record. We have not had one winning record in the entire time of Terry Fontenot's tenure. He's made some good moves. I would say most of his moves have been pretty good or decent. You can see the vision. You can see why they would pick this player at this spot. The only head scratchers for me were at the quarterback position, really. I mean, you alienated Matt Ryan, who still had something left in the tank. And, dare I say, I mean, not today, but then was a better option than Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ritter, and also Deshaun Watson, who you decided to try to jump in bed with everything he had going on. I just couldn't believe that. But I feel like Terry is more of in jeopardy, I guess you could say, than Raheem Morris or Zach Robinson. I know they're getting a lot of the vitriol because we're losing, and people think if we didn't score enough points, it's got to be the offensive coordinator. Not entirely, and it's not always the case. I mean, the offensive coordinator didn't allow the New England Patriots to convert 8 of 12 on third down. The defense did. Even though the defense made some plays on Sunday, they made a lot of plays and they helped keep the Falcons in the ball game. But the fact of the matter is, had they not allowed the Patriots to convert so many third downs, the Falcons wouldn't have the need. The Falcons may not have needed 24 points to tie the game. They could have had 23 points to win the game. So again, it's a team sport. There's all kinds of blame to go around. Typically, the general manager, the head coach, the owner get a lot of the blame because they're the ones at the top. But again, sometimes you have to look at the players and say, players, what are you doing? And then when you look at the players, it all goes back to who brings the players in, which would be the general manager. So Terry Fontenot, I think he's on the hot seat. I don't know if they would move on from him this offseason if the Falcons fail to make the playoffs or fail to have a winning record. I think his drafts have been pretty decent. And now looking at the draft of Michael Penix, it feels like a smart thing to do, especially with Kirk Cousins, who got injured. And then you brought him in, and he looked like butt against the Dolphins, a team that a lot of us felt like we should have just ran over because they were really poor defensively. But time will tell with Terry Fontenot. If I had to put a prediction on what's going to happen at the end of the season, I would say if we don't make the playoffs, Terry Fontenot will have an ultimatum about playoffs or you're fired. If we do make the playoffs, I think he'll get a little bit more grace for 2026, and then that ultimatum could be extended into 2027. All right. I want to see everybody continuing to give me what you got in these comments. Like, subscribe, rise up, and sound off in the comments. Let's see here. Let's see. Taking a look at the comments here. Love the show, McCoy Jamie. Thank you very much, McCoy Jamie. David Ledford, 1991. Mick Luckhurst was bartending in Atlanta when the Falcons signed him. He kicked 5 field goals against the Rams on Monday night. I was there that night. That's pretty cool that you were in person there. And Mick Luckhurst's son, actually, I can't remember what school he plays for, but his son is actually a kicker in college football right now. I was listening to a game. I think he's in the West Coast somewhere. I can't remember exactly what school, but I do remember listening to a game in my car on the way home one night, and they mentioned the last name Luckhurst, and my ears popped up immediately. Because I'm like, I know that last name. That's the last name of Mick Luckhurst, our old kicker from way back when. And of course, yes, it was the son of Mick Luckhurst who's out there kicking right now. And they did mention his dad. They didn't mention the Atlanta Falcons, but they mentioned his father was an NFL kicker. So I thought that was a pretty cool look for the Falcons. Or just to to see that happening. His son, let's find his son's name. I'll tell you what his name. His son's name is Jack Luckhurst, and he's actually I believe he's on Arizona State. That's where I believe he is. Or Michael Luckhurst. That's where it is. Michael Luckhurst is a kicker. So it's pretty cool that it kind of extends. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. All right, folks, we're going to call it good here for Wednesday. We'll be back here on Thursday with more Falcons Daily. We'll take a look at that Falcons injury report and go from there. I mean, trade deadline's over. They can't make any more trades, but we'll look at free agency as well and see who's out there. And if the Falcons need to make any kind of moves, we'll really be paying attention to the offensive line, the status of not only Chris Lindstrom and also Matthew Bergeron, but on the defensive side, also looking at the status of Billy Bowman and Leonard Floyd as well. We'll keep an eye on that, and we'll keep an eye on y'all until tomorrow. And we'll see you then. Sayonara and buenos noches.